The hand-to-hand combat system that we're going to cover in this program is designed for real-life survival. Real-life combat is very violent and very dirty, and if you want to succeed at it, you have to respond to it on that same level. You're going to notice that this system is not based on techniques that rely on our physical abilities in order to succeed, because if our attacker is more physically advanced than we are, those techniques won't work. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to learn the quickest methods to attack the body's weakest and most vital parts so that we can shut it down right away and debilitate the attacker's ability to continue to function. I got to emphasize one thing. When you're practicing this, the targets that we're going for on the body, as I said, they're very vital and you can cause serious damage very easily. So make sure that you're careful when you're practicing with a partner. With that in mind, let's get to work. I've devoted a lot of time and research being able to develop how do you attack a human, how do you defeat a human right away. And that's what I believe in terms of training.
Being a police officer, I'm very selective in the martial arts that I do train in. I like near system for the reason that it's something you can take up quickly and something that's very effective with the line of work that I'm in.
That person is my enemy and I need to destroy him. What near teaches, it actually will help you a lot on the street. It will help you to survive. It's a survival mode.
Everything Nir does is straight to the point and direct and uses natural body movements. You don't have to learn any exotic styles or systems or techniques. It's all based on your own natural body movements, nothing else.
Okay, the first section that we're going to cover here are targets. This is a very important section, okay, strategically speaking, for a fight. If you picture for a minute a boxing match, for example, okay, where you've got two big giants duking it out, killing each other for 12 rounds, and at the end they're still left standing. Now you picture yourself facing one of these giants out in the street, okay? If you're standing there wailing away at their face, it's probably not going to do much. I know for me, if I'm going up against one of those types of fighters and I'm standing here punching them in the face, it probably isn't going to do much, okay? What we don't want to do is rely on our physical ability to defeat our attacker. Rather, what we're going to look at are ways that we can attack this person's body and debilitate their body's ability to function. Okay, it becomes a lot more efficient when we're talking about combat and about the street. The way in which we do this is on the targets that we attack. The one common denominator that we look at here is that generically all humans are built the same way. Okay, we have two arms, we have two legs, we all function the exact same way, we all depend on the exact same functions. Sure, there's a few variations from body to body, but as a whole, that's what makes it possible for us to be able to deal with a human, be able to take them out right away, okay, is the fact that they function the same way. Okay, the first target that we want to attack, this is becomes a primary target when we're in a fight, are the eyes. The eyes, there's two reasons. You're going to see that all the targets that we have, there's two aspects that we're attacking when we're attacking these targets. Number one is the physical aspect on his body, and number two is the psychological aspect of him, all right, which both of those elements are very important in order to defeat him. When we attack the eyes, physically, there is pain there, okay? The eyes start to sting, and it does hurt, all right? Physically as well, what happens is the eyes start to water, so you start taking away his ability to be able to see, okay? Becomes defensive right away, okay? That's where it translates over to the psychological aspect. As soon as you take out his eyes, right away, he goes from being aggressive, being able to see what's going on, to a defensive mode where he's covering up and he's starting to panic because he can't see what's going on clearly, okay? So that's a psychological aspect in which we attack him, all right? And once we get the eyes, again, those two elements of what we just did to him gives us enough of a window where we can either take off or we can move in and finish him off. The second target that we have is the nose. The nose is the weakest part of the face, all right? The great thing about the nose as well is that it's easy to break, number one, and number two, when you break it, it bleeds a lot, okay? Physically, when you smash the nose really hard, what happens is there's a very strong numbing sensation that comes over the face, okay? So it becomes very discomforting for him, and it starts to distract him some more, okay? Psychologically, again, once he's distracted, he's now focused now on what his intention is, all right? And also, with all that blood pouring out, it's going to psychologically, hopefully, intimidate him a little bit more. And that, again, just opens up a window of opportunity for us to be able to move in and finish him off. The third target that we have is the throat. Again, the throat, it's a very exposed and weak area. Okay, it only takes about 12 pounds of pressure to crush the trachea, which hinders the ability of air to get through to the lungs. There's not a lot of protection around the throat. We're not going in for the side of the neck, but right for the throat. Again, as soon as you hit the throat, and all of a sudden he's got problems breathing, he goes from the mindset of coming after you, being aggressive and attacking, to suddenly becoming defensive. All right, he's going to be hesitant. He's going to have a hard time getting air in, and right away his mind is going to start bouncing back and forth from defending himself and trying to survive, trying to get breath in, and at the same time trying to focus on attacking you. So it distracts him completely, okay, and psychologically overwhelms him. And that again opens up a window of opportunity for us to do what we need to do. And the final target that we have is the groin. Okay, I think I need to go into too much detail with the groin. 90% of the time, the groin will work. I've seen a lot of cases where people get kicked in the groin, or they get struck in the groin in the street, and it doesn't do much. But in general, it will work. All right, and again, it's not just a physical factor that we look for here. When you hit the groin, all right, his body is going to keel over. He's going to have a hard time breathing. All right, but psychologically, again, the pain is going to be too overwhelming that it starts to distract him and it starts to take his focus off of his intention, which is to come after you. And that opens up that window again that we have to move in and finish him off, or again, leave the scene if we have to. We've got 8 primary weapons at our disposal that we're going to use to attack these targets. Now, the reason why we use these weapons is because, number one, they're the fastest that we have available to us, and number two, they're efficient and they don't take a lot of time to practice or to learn. Okay, they're weapons that naturally any person, even without training, will be able to apply them. All right, you couple that with the targets that we're attacking, and you should have some success here during the fight. What we're going to do is, just going to miss it here. We put these weapons into a little flow drill. I'm going to demonstrate it first, slowly, and then I'm going to break it down, explain everything, and then we'll look at the drill again. Okay? So this drill will give you the ability to, first of all, you can practice on your own so that you can drill these weapons in, and second of all, when you're doing them on a partner, it gives you the ability to not only work on the weapons, but as well acquire and get used to mapping and targeting and acquiring all of these specific targets that we are going after. Okay? Just going to stand loose. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate again, nice and slow, and then we'll break everything down. All right? Okay. Okay, now let's look at that real slow. The first one that we had was a jab, okay? And you got a couple variations that you can do with this. You can either strike the nose, or it can come into the eyes, okay? Just keep your fingers loose and just shoot it straight out into the eyes or into the nose, okay? Nice and quick. Off of the jab, we step right in and we're smashing the ears, okay? So you're not just grabbing the head, you're coming in, boom, clapping on the ears with both hands. As soon as we do that, we're coming into a headbutt, all right? All I'm doing is taking his nose and dropping it into the top of my head. Okay, smash right from here. Right from this position, I'm simply going to slide my thumbs into his eyes and gouge those eyes back. Okay, from here, doesn't matter which hand you go with, I'm going to grab onto his head with one hand, and my attacking hand becomes an elbow strike. All right? Again, you can strike in for the head, strike in for the face, strike in for the throat, it doesn't matter. I'm going to reach over, grab hold of my target again with my other hand, and practice on the other side, okay, with that elbow. Grab hold of that head. We've got our knee into the groin, and then second leg, knee into the groin. Last weapon, we've got seventh weapon is a groin kick. Just shoot that shin up into the groin from here, boom. And then the last one that we have is just a thrust kick, okay, just to get him away from us. Okay, let's look at that again. Slow it first. We've got our jab, okay, again, either just a straight jab into the nose, or you can just shoot your fingers right into his eyes. You're going to slide in, ear slap, headbutt, gouge, elbow, elbow, knee, knee, groin kick, thrust kick. I'm not going to spend too much time on the fighting stance because in real life, stance is not a big important aspect, but whenever you do get into a situation, you're going to automatically fall back into a stance, whatever it is. So what we're going to look at are a couple pointers that we can use during a situation to apply into a stance that will help us efficiently deal with this fight a little bit better. Now, first off, a couple things here. It's important to understand that, first of all, the fight doesn't start when I got my attacker in front of me, his fists are up, my fists are up, and I'm waiting for him to attack, okay? You got to be aware of that. In real life, what's going to happen is one of two scenarios. Either you're out at a bar somewhere, okay, and somebody wants to beat you up, and they're going to make that clear to you, okay? They're going to start yelling and swearing at you and threatening you, and then they're going to step in and attack you. Or you're out somewhere, and all of a sudden, guy comes up to you and sucker punches you, or jumps up from behind you, gets you in a headlock, takes you to the ground. That's what happens. So you always got to be prepared, okay? One thing that I always tell people, I mean, obviously, you don't want to be walking around the street like this the whole time everywhere that you go. That's not realistic. It's not, doesn't make life easier for you out there. But at the same time, you got to be aware of your environment. You got to be aware of your surroundings and who's standing around you. And if you're standing in a crowded place where there's a potential for hostility to break out and you're standing around with your hands in your pockets, you're going to run into problems, okay, if somebody decides to come up to you and sucker punch you. We have two stance positions that we're going to look at, non-assuming and assuming, okay? Go to this, please. Start right there. Let's assume, first of all, we take that first scenario, okay, where I'm getting an indication that my attacker wants to step in and attack me, okay? Obviously, if I jump into position right away and do this, I'm not making the situation easier for me. I'm letting him know my intentions are, that I'm standing here and I'm prepared to fight. He's going to get into a stance, and now it's going to become into more difficult situation where I have to make sure I can create openings or find openings and get the targets and be able to apply all of my tactics here. If I'm standing a couple feet away from my attacker, all right, or from this individual here, and I know that he wants to attack me, he wants to hurt me, he's standing there threatening me, he's giving me dirty looks, and he starts closing in on me, okay? First of all, if he comes walking in on me, I tell him, stop right there, okay? Don't come any closer, okay? And he stops, all right? Again, I'm maintaining my distance here, all right? So as long as I can maintain a distance here, I know that I'm somewhat safe. I have enough time to pick up a weapon if I have to, stick a chair in between me and him, or run for the door, all right? Or if he comes charging in, well, I can get into position, okay? Go back for a sec. He comes walking up to me, I tell him to stop, and he keeps on moving, all right? Well, okay, right away, I know here I don't have to spend any more time thinking, all right, is this guy still is he still thinking of attacking, or does he just want to get a little bit closer because he can't see good, or he wants to get a closer look at who he's about to punch, all right? I'm not going to waste any time. Right away, he's made his intentions clear, okay? He's coming in to attack me, all right? And the bottom line is, I mean, it's my own personal philosophy. I don't want people around me, okay? Nobody comes around me. There's no need for anybody to be close to me, all right? If he wants to ask me what the time is, he can do that from there, okay? Especially when I'm telling him to stop and not come at me, and he keeps on walking. Again, it shows me that he's got some bad intentions over here. I'm not going to wait for him to step up to me and launch an attack so that I can respond to it. You're not going to be quick enough to do that, all right? And that's where the fight begins, okay? The second that I know what his intentions are, I made my decision that I'm going to attack, okay? Our non-assuming stance is very simple, all right? What's going to happen, I'll show it from front first of all, is your feet just stand in a relaxed position. You're always going to have one side back, okay? Hands are up in a triangle position. Elbows are under my body, and my hands are right in front of my chest, just in from here, okay? And from here, if you're looking at this, you know, from side, this is what it looks like. If you're looking at this stance, I mean, it doesn't look menacing, it doesn't look intimidating. It looks like if I'm in a situation where he's standing there threatening me and he wants to attack me and I'm standing like this, I look like, you know, I'm intimidated. I look weak, I look small here, all right? I look like I don't want to fight, and I'm asking him to back off, all right? So if he still wants to attack me, psychologically, he's going to feel a lot more confident now, all right? So he might let his guard down a little bit, okay? And from here, if he comes closing in, first of all, just walk in, okay? And from here, you notice it right away. If he's standing in my face, shoving me around, okay, just pushing, just pushing me around here, just being a tough guy, okay, you're looking with my hands in from here, okay, right away, how in position everything is, all right? How close I am to my targets, just stand box, Okay, how close I am to all my targets from here. If he comes in, boom, right away, I can attack those eyes, get that nose. Okay, I can get anything that I wanted from here, okay, from this position here, all right? Again, if I suddenly get onto a menacing fighting stance, he's probably going to back off a bit, and I'm going to have a much harder time trying to close in, okay? So from a non-assuming fighting stance, that's what we look to do, is to bait him in, let him come close, so as soon as he comes close, boom, we can attack right away, all right, and we begin our assault, all right? If it's a situation where, let's say, all of a sudden he sucker punches me, I fall to the ground, I get back up, or I get surrounded by him and his buddies, or he's coming charging at me, I'm not going to stand relaxed from here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stance, and from here, I'm just going to back up my leg up a little bit over here, get to a bit of a wider stance so I have more stability. The important thing with our legs here is just that we can move in any direction and that we have good stability, so you can't be pushed over easily, all right? Knees are a little bit bent. My hands are simply going to come straight up in front of my face, okay? And from here, my elbows stay in line with my body. I don't stick them out, but my hands come right up in front of my face, okay? There's a reason for that, okay? If you notice them from here, I'm covering my eyes, I'm covering my face with my fingers, okay? I can still see everything that's going on around me, even though my fingers are in front of my face, all right? If Chris takes his stance here, all right? I got my fingers up in front of my face, I can see his whole body, okay? But what's going on here is that I'm masking what I'm doing, okay? My eyes are scanning all over the place right now, looking for openings, looking for targets, looking for weapons around me, looking for obstacles I can grab, place in between us, or looking for a way out, okay? Number one. Number two, with my hands in front of my face, what that's going to do is a lot of times when a person decides to move really quickly or fiercely or throw an attack, there's going to be a signal on his face, okay? The face is going to twitch, it's going to give it away, okay? A lot of times their face tightens up a little bit when they're about to step in, okay? So it might even cue him. If this guy's got some fighting experience and all of a sudden he sees me ready to come in, he sees it in my face, it might give him the ability to respond to my attack, all right? So by masking my eyes again, it just covers my face a little bit so he can't really see what my intentions are, where I'm going, all right? And at the same time, I've got full visual acuity of everything that I need to do here, okay, in terms of finding targets or finding a way out. These combat strategies. This is important, again, all right? When you get into a fight, you don't want to be in a situation where you're just with this attacker and you're just launching a barrage of attacks and it's not really going anywhere. That takes too long, okay? You're wasting too much time. The more time that you spend fighting with this individual, the more opportunities you're giving him to being able to counter you, all right? Being able to pick up a weapon or for his accomplice to come jumping into the scene, okay? And the second thing is that you're wasting more energy, and you don't want to do that, okay? So as soon as you get into a fight, you got to make your entry, we got to get in, and right away we got to have a strategy in terms of how to end this situation right away. We've got 3 strategies that we're going to look at here: control, incapacitate, and terminate. So first one we're going to look at here is control. Now, the best means of controlling a person is with their head, all right? It doesn't matter what body type this person is, whether they're 4 feet tall and 90 pounds or whether they're 7 feet tall and 350 pounds. Everybody, every human, okay, operates the same way again, okay? And the head controls the entire body, all right? Anywhere that you take the head to, the body is going to follow, okay? Where you turn it around, you take it down, you lift it up, all right? Doesn't matter how big he is, the head controls the entire body, okay? And that's what we look to do. When you're practicing this, just going to grab hold of the head nice and easy, okay? And you're just going to take everything into the different directions that you have. You got forward, just dip his head forward into you, okay? Shove him backwards, all right? You can turn him sideways. You can take him down to the ground, okay? Once he's on the ground, you can still continue to rotate him around in from here, okay? You can lift him up, all right? And again, once you got his head, you now got full physical control over him, okay? So it's a situation where, like to say, he comes walking up to me, boom, I attack, I charge in there, okay? I give him 1 or 2 shots, all right? I know that now I've debilitated him, I've diminished his ability to attack, he's calmed down, and I don't need to beat him up anymore, so I'm just going to take him down to the ground, and I've got full physical control of him in from here, okay? The second aspect that we have is incapacitate. Now, when we're talking about incapacitating, we're talking about we're not talking about hurting this guy, okay? We're incapacitating him by inflicting pain on him that's going to dissuade him from being able to attack us, but we're talking about inflicting an injury to his body that's going to debilitate his body's ability to function, okay? And the way that you do that is by attacking his skeletal structure, all right? We got two examples that can accomplish this in the best way, all right? The first one is attacking his spine, okay, to paralyze him, all right? Now again, obviously the situation that you're in will dictate which one of these levels you're going to use, whether it's just a matter of needing to control him or whether, again, it's a matter of needing to inflict this much injury to his body, all right? The best way that we have this, again, we're going to revert right back to the head, okay, in all three. Controlling, incapacitating, and terminating him, you're going to see that we're always going to revert right back to the head, okay, to the control point. So once we've launched our attack, we've managed to calm him down a bit, we managed to close in, we managed to get this head. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn him away from me right away, okay? You notice I'm going to do that a lot, all right? In any situation, I'm going to keep turning him away from me, all right? Physically, what that does is it gives me the advantage, obviously, of being able to control his body, all right? Leaves a lot of openings on him that he can't defend that I can attack. And psychologically, it puts him in a state of shock, all right? He starts to panic. He can't see me, doesn't know where I am and what I'm about to do. He now goes from the attacking mindset, from a predator mindset, to defending himself, okay? Where now I become the predator, he becomes the prey, all right? He's just trying to get away or trying to turn his body around so he can see what's going on, okay? As soon as I turn him away from me, what I'm going to do, I can grab hold of his face, I'm just going to yank his head straight back, and I'm going to bring him all the way down and just drop him right on my knee, all right? Let's go back here real slow, and from here, turn him around. Now again, all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull his head back, okay, because I'm practicing this with my partner, obviously, I'm not going to extend my knee all the way out. I'm going to let him drop down on my thigh, okay? But again, I go down lower and drop his spine directly on my knee, okay? Now, while I'm dropping him down, it's not just his body weight that's going down. I'm pulling his whole body down, okay? Boom, with that much force, all right? The spine is not a very hard bone to break, okay? And that will usually give you more than enough force to snap it. Another option is taking him down is also just coming straight up with knee shots into the spine, okay? So I got that option available to me as well, all right? So that is how we're going to paralyze him. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is because it's a situation where I can't afford to have him come back up after me, okay? Could be a situation where, I don't know, I'm at home and he's one of 3 mass burglars that just broke into my house. I'm in one room with him and his 2 accomplices are going after my family members, all right? I don't want to waste any time dealing with him, so I got to make sure that, again, I do something to him that's going to keep him on the spot, keep him there, and I don't have to focus on him anymore. Second method that we have here of being able to incapacitate him from the same starting point. Okay, I'm always going to turn him away from me, only this time what I'm going to do is when I take him down, I'm going to kick him in the back of the knee here, and I'm going to push his body forward. Okay, sorry, come up. Okay. From here, turn him around, stomp down, and take his body forward so he's in this position here. Okay? And what we're going to do is I'm going for his ankles. All right? Now, what I'm going to do from here is just come down, crushing his ankle this way. All right? Come back up. From here, turn him around, stomp down, taking him down, and from here, boom, just putting all my body weight, crushing his ankle. I can either stomp down this way here, or I can just drop down with my knee. It's going to have the same effect. The ankle is a very weak area, again, all right? And it's very easy to damage it. And from here, you're crushing all the ligaments and the tendons. You're going to have a hard time getting up and walking. Come on up again. Okay, let's look at that one more time. Again, I got his head. I'm going to turn him around. I'm going to put all my body weight forward so I'm pressing into him as I step right down. And boom, right down from here or in from here. Okay, let's look at the first one again. Going around from here, whipping him around. I'm coming with those knees into the spine, or just dropping him straight down on my knee. And then they're taking him down, crushing his ankle. Now, there are other means of being able to damage his body, okay, in terms of damaging the skeletal structure of his body. Okay, you can smash the knee out, you can hyperextend the arm, but those are a little bit more difficult to do. And again, it's something that relies on being able to close into a proper position in order to get a good angle to being able to attack those joints. Okay, so we don't want to rely on that. If we manage to attack him, inflict enough pain, distract him, and get this head, it's a very simple movement to turn him around. Doesn't take a lot of effort. He's going to go. Okay, as soon as you got his head, and now it's very easy to be able to accomplish one of the two tactics that we had. The third one that we have is terminating him. All right. And again, I'm going to reiterate this. You do what you have to do according to the situation that you find yourself in. To terminate a person, the easiest and the best method that we have is by, again, reverting back to his head. And what we're going to do with his head is we're going to snap his neck, okay? When you're snapping the neck, the term referring snapping the neck, basically what it means is that we are severing his spinal cord from his skull, okay? The base of your skull connects to your spinal cord, and all we're doing is we're snapping that, and that's going to kill him, all right? We've got a couple of variations that we're going to look at here. First off, again, like I said, we're in a situation where we're squaring off. We're going to have to apply all of these tactics. Close off, we get his head, all right? The first method that we're going to have in terms of snapping his neck is going to be from here, from front, okay? We can do it facing him. What I'm going to want to do, if I can, is I want to bury his head into my shoulder nice and tight here so that I've got his body controlled somewhat and I can get my hands in a position. I'm going to have one hand on top of his head, okay, holding on nice and tight, and my second hand I'm going to do is slide it down onto his chin, okay? And all I'm going to do from here is just whip my hands up, okay? This hand comes down, this hand goes up. Now what I'm not doing is turning his head sideways. Just stand, hold your shoulders still, okay? Just loosen your head up. Okay, I'm not turning his head sideways this way, all right? Because it's got more of a distance to turn. If you turn your head parallel to the ground, okay, you got more flexibility. What I'm doing is I'm taking his head and I'm taking his chin and I'm wrenching it up on a 45-degree angle. Ligaments tighten up, it doesn't travel as far, and it's a quicker way of being able to snap his neck, okay? Another variation that we have might be in this position here, and I can't get my arms down, okay? It could be he's grabbing onto my arms, or he's fighting, or whatever the case is. I'm having a hard time being able to reach down and grab hold of his chin. So all I'm going to do from here is just dip his head down, okay? I'm going to have one hand, I'm going to keep it on top of his shoulders, all right? My hand's going to stay on top of his shoulders so that when I snap his neck, his body won't be able to compensate by rotating with it. My hand stays on top of his shoulders, I'm putting my body weight on it. This hand, I'm simply going to slide down, grab hold of his chin, and all I'm going to do from here is just wrench it around. Now again, I'm not pulling it upwards because what's going to happen is your hands will slip off. I'm hooking his chin, making sure you're not sticking any fingers in his mouth, and I'm just pulling his chin all the way around, right into my body. Okay? Let's look at the two of them again. We're going from here, boom, whipping around this way. If I can't access it from here, I'm just going to dip him down, keep one hand on top of the shoulder, my body weight on him, slide down, grab hold of that chin, and just snap it around. Okay, now again, obviously in this position here, I'm still having a hard time. If I can't get the effect that I'm looking for, he's still open, okay, to a whole assortment of different attacks here that will be able to loosen him up. Okay, third one that we're going to look at, we're going to go down from this position again, okay? Another option that I have is this time what I'm going to do, I'm grabbing hold of that chin, okay, with that same hand, but this hand here, I'm going to slide it down onto his chin as well, okay? So essentially what I have is I got his head sandwiched in between my forearms, my wrists, and I've got both my hands right on his chin. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to keep his head really tight into my body, and I'm just going to flip my shoulders upside down right to this position and flip him over, okay? I'm just wrenching his whole head over my shoulders. Yeah, let's look at that again. I'm down from here, okay? Just going to slide one hand over his chin, making sure that he's tight against my body, and the other hand over my hand that's already grabbing him, keep him tight against my body. I'm going to always keep him against my body as I roll him up, step under into this position here, okay? And I'm just yanking the chin straight down to the ground, okay? Boom, right down from here. That's the third one that we have. Last variation that we have, as soon as you get that head, turn him around, and this is the easiest way of doing this, okay? Turn him around. Again, what happens when I turn him around is he's going to start to panic, all right? He's not going to focus so much on attacking. He's going to focus more on defending. It's going to keep him loose. It's going to loosen him up a little bit, make it easier for me to be able to accomplish what I need to do, all right? We got his head from here, so grab hold of his chin, one hand behind his head, okay, and same thing, this time here, I'm just gonna wrench it up on a 45-degree angle, upwards, okay? Boom, right down from here, all right? We get into this position, let's go back in from here again, okay, I got him from here, turn him around, now I just have a situation where, for some reason, I can't turn his head. Maybe he's holding onto my arms, okay, or I don't get the right angle, or it could be that he's too big, he's too tall, or I'm too short, all right, and I just can't get the right angle here. All I gotta do from here, I can hook onto his chin, or even just claw his eyes, grab his nose, and just pull him straight back, all right? Again, I can just drop him right down on my knee, and once I got him in from here, then I can accomplish any one of those. Come on up. All right, let's quickly just review all of them again. First one, bury him into my shoulder, grab hold of the head, grab hold of the chin, and we're just wrenching his head all the way around. Second one we have, just going to dip him straight down into here, keep his shoulders in check, grab hold of that chin, and boom, snap it over. Third one that we have, dip him down again, grab hold of his chin, keep him tight into my body. I'm going to sneak this hand down into here. You notice that when I sneak this hand down also, I got my shoulder. I'm checking his shoulders with my shoulder. If I keep him opening from here, and he's fighting, okay, his shoulders, then hold on, okay, his shoulders are going to start popping upwards, and I might lose this grip. All right, so as soon as I remove this hand and grab hold of his chin, my shoulders are keeping him in check. Keeping tight against my body, I'm just rolling his head straight up into here and flipping him down. And last one that we have, got him in from here, turn that head around and snap him right down from here. Or if I have to, I can take him down to the ground and then in from here, boom, snap him. Now we're going to go into our offensive strategies, and I'm going to show you guys how to apply the 8 weapons that we have into our offensive strategy. Okay. At the beginning, we learned 8 weapons that we have, okay? We've got our jab, all right, just go over these real quickly again. We've got our jab in from here, either a closed fist right to the nose, okay, or eye jab. We've got our ear slap, we've got the headbutt, we've got the eye gouges, we've got our elbows, we've got our knees, we've got that groin kick, and then we have our thrust kick to get them away from us. When we talk about offensive strategies, we're talking about as soon as my attacker comes into range, I'm going to attack him right away. I'm not going to give him the opportunity, all right, to start an attack, okay? The decision has been made. He's made the decision. He's coming in to attack me, and I got to do what I got to do. He's standing back there, yelling and swearing and threatening me, and I'm standing here, I'm in position, I'm ready to do what I have to do. I'm not going to come in there and start chasing him to get my targets. I'm going to wait for him to close his distance. If he's back there, he's not much of a threat to me right now. It doesn't matter how much he's threatening me, okay? And while he's standing back there yelling and threatening, again, I'm looking around to see what weapons I can pick up, okay, or I'm making my way to the door. If he starts to close in on me, okay, then right away, boom, that's when I attack. The second that he gets into range and I can reach him, I'm going to launch my attack right away, okay? We first have to enter, all right? And this is what we're going to do. Our jab and our groin kick are our 2 entry weapons that we have. Those are the first ones that we have to apply. We apply those because we have to distract him with pain, okay? Soon as we hit him and he feels that pain, he's going to be distracted for a couple seconds, and now I can close in, all right? As soon as he comes in, again, boom, I'm going to launch that jab, all right? I'm going to come in with that low kick down into the groin, and then I've got him distracted enough, I have him with enough pain now that I can reach in, grab hold of that head, and once we're in this position, if I still need to attack him, well then from here I'm going to continue my assault, I'm going to continue with all the weapons that I have, or from here I can right away go into one of the 3 objectives that we had. I can control him, take him to the ground, all right? I can incapacitate him, or I can terminate him if I have to, okay? So you want to play with it. You want to play with your range. You want to play with your distancing. If he's back there and he comes walking up to me, okay, boom, right away, I'm going to grab hold of that head. I'm going to launch that eye jab, okay, distract him, close the distance, grab hold of him in from here, okay? Or again, he comes walking in, wham, get him down low, up high, and then move in and get that head. If he, for whatever reason, let's say I turn around and he's already this close to me, okay, he's standing there this close to me, I don't have room for that jab. Again, I've got this headbutt here, or I can use that knee. All right, distract him, inflict some pain. We're going for the head. As soon as we have that head, we're either going to continue attacking him in from here with any one of these weapons that we had, or, and from here, we can go into one of our objectives right away and do what we need to do. So far, we've been building up on everything. First, we looked at targets that we attack on the body and the reasons for attacking them, all right? We learned the weapons that we have, the best weapons that we have for attacking those targets. We learned our strategies, all right, our objectives in terms of once we apply those weapons and we get in close, what do we do next? We either control, incapacitate, or terminate them, all right? We applied that to our offensive strategies in terms of initiating the attack, and now we're going to look at defensive strategies and how we apply all those concepts into our defensive strategies. Now again, just to reiterate this, when I say defensive strategies, I'm not saying that we're standing here waiting for him to attack so that we can defend against it and move in, all right? It's not efficient, it doesn't work in real life, okay? Defensive strategies is where he suddenly decides to take the initiative. He comes charging in, all right, with a punch, or he comes up behind me, grabs me in a bear hug or a headlock, and I suddenly find myself in a situation that I am responding to. That is what we mean when we say defensive strategies, okay? So we have a couple scenarios that we're going to look at here. Yaroslav? Okay, the first attack situation we're going to look at here are just straight angle punches, okay? Whether it's just a jab he's attacking with or he's coming in full out with a straight angle punch to my face. Couple things. First of all, it's very hard to be able to preset yourself, okay, in the sense of, again, getting into a stance and focus and tell yourself, okay, you know, when he comes in with that punch, I'm going to redirect it or block it or move out of the way and come in with something. It's a very hard thing to do, all right? And you see professionals all the time. They get caught up in that predicament as well. You see boxers in the ring, okay? They're always hitting each other with the punches. It's hard to always avoid everything, okay? When a person suddenly jumps into your face and comes at you with something, your body is going to instinctively react, all right? Every single person on the face of this planet has instinctive fighting abilities in them or defensive abilities in them, all right? If a person comes up to you and does this, all of a sudden you're going to do this or you're going to do this, okay? That is your defensive mechanism. Your arms are going to shoot up and your body's going to either pull away from the threat or it's just going to bury itself straight down. All right. What we want to do is that, again, in a situation where he suddenly jumps on me, my body is going to act that way. Okay, it's going to instinctively explode into its own natural defenses. What we want to do is we want to take that instinctive reaction and turn it into an attack. All right. So that while I'm addressing his attack, if he's coming with that punch, while I'm avoiding that punch or I'm deflecting it off of me, at the same time I'm going to start inflicting pain on him. And that's very important. You don't want to be caught in a game of tag here where he attacks and you stop it or you get hit and then you attack and then he attacks. All right, it doesn't work. If he gets lucky enough and he gets a lucky shot in, then you're gone. Or if his buddies are coming out of the bar, all right, and you're sitting here playing with him, again, they're going to come swarm right away, okay? So we don't have any time to waste. Every single movement that we make, we want to make sure that we're accomplishing something, all right? And what we're trying to accomplish, again, is either closing this distance or inflicting pain on him right off the bat. We looked at our fighting stances earlier on, okay, and how we're positioning ourselves, and that is the way that you always want to be. Again, if it's a situation where he's approaching me for whatever reason, I'm going to get into my stance. I'm not going to get into here right away, okay, but I'm going to stand relaxed with my hands up, okay, my legs are ready to go if I have to all of a sudden, my elbows are in my body, and this is what we're going to work off of, okay, this position right here. In this particular situation, Yaroslav's going to come in, he's going to attack me with a straight punch to my face, okay? And what we're going to do here is, again, I'm going to go into him. As soon as he moves, I move. He starts moving forward towards me, I charge right into him. I'm not wasting any time, okay? While I'm in motion, okay, making my way closest distance into his body, I'm going to get into a position that's going to address the attack here, the punch, okay? And all we're going to do this real slow first. As he attacks, okay, as he comes in with that punch, I'm simply going to charge straight in, okay, right into him, and keep my elbow right up, okay? Just stay down for a second, okay? And from here, all I'm doing is I'm raising my elbow, sticking it right in front of my nose, right in front of my face. My hand is right against my head, and I'm just charging straight into him, all right? He's coming at me with a certain amount of force, and I'm going to be coming right at him with that same amount of force. I'm not wasting any time, real slow. Second he raises that hand, I come charging in, okay? My elbow is up, all right? As he punches, just hold it right there, okay? One of three things is going to happen, okay? He's either going to connect straight into my elbow. If I'm a little too slow with it and he comes punching and I go charging in, he might connect his fist with my elbow, all right? Or as he comes in, it's going to deflect his punch upwards, all right? It might deflect it downwards, okay? It might deflect it inside as well, okay? That's for that reason that you see my empty hand doesn't stay here, okay? But it comes right up in front of my face, just in from here, okay? So my elbow, if you look at it, again, it comes right up in front of my nose. I'm not keeping it out here. I'm keeping it right in front of my nose. Again, that's what he's attacking. I'm not going to aim for his fist, okay? I know where his fist is going. It's going for my face, okay? He's aiming right for my face, all right? And I know where my face is. All I'm going to do is stick my elbow right in front of my face, okay? And then the physics of this motion is going to do the rest, all right? My empty hand, again, is going to come straight up in front of my face and from here. That way, just in case, real slow, he deflects to the inside, I have a certain way of being able to deflect his attack here, okay? And you notice from here, again, it's not a situation where he's attacking, I'm blocking, and then I'm charging in at him, all right? It's all one motion. As he comes in, boom, this is my attack. Right away, I'm aiming my elbow into his chest, into his throat, into his face, and I'm charging right in there, okay? And again, the second that he explodes at me with his attack, I'm exploding right at him, all right? He comes in, boom, right down and from here. Once we get into here, I managed to inflict some pain on him, I managed to deflect this attack, and I'm in close. Now, boom, I can come in here and I can start going to work with all of the weapons that we have, and then we can get into our objectives and do whatever needs to be done here. Real slow, real slow, real slow. Comes in, and I'm charging straight in. Okay, we close it, and right away, we're going right into our attack scenarios, and from here, I'm assaulting him, and then I'm finishing him off with whichever objective I need to. Let's come this side for a second. Another thing you'll notice here is that I'm not predicating things on which side should I stand depending on what side he's going to attack with, all right? If I happen to be standing here with my right side in front of me, my right side is always going to lead, okay? So if he's coming in with a left punch, my right side is leading. I'm charging right in here, okay? This hand is up and I'm charging straight in. If he happens to come in with his right side, okay, I'm not going to stop and then switch hands. You don't have the time to do that. Okay, I'm going to continue with my right side leading. Okay, and again, that's why I got this hand in front of me, so that I can address this jab, okay, or his attack in front of my face, all right? So there's nothing that's predicated on sides again, okay, on reaction or on sides. I'm standing from here, comes in with his left side, I'm charging straight in, boom, right down into here, comes in with his right side, same thing, okay, boom, right down from here.